the year when England once again failed to reach the World Cup anything, I'm going to tell you why I don't give a monkeys. I don't remember the 1966 World Cup, but I do remember the day after. I was 9 and lived in a tiny Cornish village called Lesnew. It's about 2 miles out of Boscastle. Down the road lived Vernon, but I thought his name was Vermin, which always upset him. His family name was Bright, and his father was Ivor. When he introduced himself, people used to say, "Ivor Bright what?" We went to school in Camelford, and it was there that I developed my hatred of football, and I really mean hatred. I never felt bad about it till then, nor gave it any thought at all, but that changed when I discovered how useless it was. Actually, being useless I could live with, but it was a treatment by teachers and classmates that really hacked me off. We had one kind of PE lesson, and that was football. Girls were sent elsewhere, probably weaving daily chains and wicker baskets, sort of thing. The 2 best players would stand out in front and take turns to call out their name. Inevitably, I'd be the last man standing, chubby, bespectacled, very poorly kitted out, and wondering when I'd ever be picked. Then it would start. Not head scratching. You have him. No, you have him. Don't want him. Me neither. I'll give you 2 of my best men if you have him. No, I'll give you 3 men, a sherbet dab if you have him. Very tempting. Make it 3 players, 2 sherbet dabs, and a blackjack. You get him back at half time. Then my self-esteem would sink to record levels, and then it would go a bit lower. Mr. O'Brien would referee the lesson the only way he knew how, by bullying me and hurling insults every time I missed the ball, which was just about every time I went for it. I once, and only once, headed the ball. It was an involuntary action caused only by my head being in the mud and someone deliberately aiming the ball at it. Back then, as you might remember, school footballs were lethal. There was no glaze to repel the water, and on a wet day they'd get heavy by the second. I realise now that the thuggish behaviour of football hooligans is probably triggered by brain damage caused by scoring goals with one's forehead. Anyway, back to the World Cup. Sunday the 31st of July 1966, in blissful ignorance, I called at Vermin's house. Unusually for that era, the Brights had more than one TV, and Vermin actually had one in his room. Yes, it was black and white, as they all were, and yes, it had a screen like a goldfish bowl, but it still worked better than the one at home, and his had a real aerial, mine had a coat hanger sticking out the back of it. As soon as I got into Vermin's room and knew that something was going on, it was a look on his face. Normally when he saw me, it looked a lot less joyful, possibly despondent sometimes. Leaping around the room, headbutting the invisible ball, he yelled, "We won!" What, sweets? No, you idiot, the World Cup! What's that then? Football! Over the next 5 weeks, well, it might have been 10 minutes, I don't know, Vermin hit me with it. The highs, the lows, the goal, that commentary. They think it's all over! It is now! And then, in the master stroke of timing, he switched on his TV. There, in all its fuzzy monochrome glory, was the winning goal. I was unimpressed. Anyone can do that. I scored one just like it in PE last week. No one thought I'd ever do it. His face reddening, Vermin snarled, "Yes they did, you prat, it was an own goal." Thank you very much.